Alright, let's take a look at the game pieces. Now, as you can see, this is the front of the box here. And it's a pretty standard sized box like your Monopoly box or some of the other games. And this is the back of the box. Now, if you are not too happy with the overall appearance or even the character, I do plan, perhaps in the near future, to make some changes to the overall appearance. And so don't worry too much about that just yet. Alright, let's go ahead and open the box, see what we have here. First thing you're going to find is the instructions on how to play, of course. And here we have the MoneyGiant score sheets. Now these are not mandatory for the game. This is just a way to keep track of the game session for future reference if you wanted to. Over here you have the properties, the blues, yellows, greens, and the orange. And in the middle column is where you would put the ending value of each property. And down here you have the cash, how much cash you have left. And you go ahead and add it up and then record the grand total down here at the bottom. And on the right hand side you have the name for the players, the date, whether or not you got married in the game, whether or not you retire, how many credit chips you had left, and how many people you GKO'd. Now GKO simply stands for giant knockout. It's just another name for bankruptcy. And finding how many hours the game was played. Alright, but as I said, these are not mandatory, just to keep a record of the game if you wanted to. Alright, let's take a look at the board. And it is bifold, so it opens up here, and everyone starts off at the boss's office over here. And you're going to move your game token clockwise. Alright, and a couple of things I wanted to point out here. First of all, don't forget to stop at the inside circles. For example, if you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so be sure to stop on the inner circles as well, because they are part of the game. And also the board is broken down into 4 quadrants. And you have the blue properties are on Easy Street, the yellow properties are on Memorial Lane, and the green properties are on Divorce Alley. And we call this Divorce Alley because you do have the divorce circle here among the green properties. And then finally you have the orange properties here on Giant Circle, or we like to call it Millionaire Circle. That's where you get the higher value properties over here. And over here you would put the lucky cards, which I'm going to show you next. You would put them face down here on the board. Alright, so that's it for the board. The lucky cards is the equivalent of your chance cards or community chess cards in Monopoly. So when you land on the lucky card space on the board, you simply pick up a card. And one thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and flip it over so that everyone can see the card that you have, and just go ahead and follow the instructions on the card. Another thing to keep in mind is before each game, it's a good idea to shuffle the cards so that everyone gets a fair chance at some of the advantages that you'll find with the cards. Alright, let's take a look at the property cards. There are 19 properties in the game, and basically you just have some general information, the price of the property, how many credit chips you need to have in order to buy the property. And in this column here, the first column is the property value column, and you keep track of that through the markers that come with the game. And when you buy a property, you take a marker and you put the marker on the first row of this property, and this way you keep track of the property value, the rent, which is in the middle column that you can collect on this property if somebody lands on it. And then in the first column here is how much money you can borrow off of this property. Now you're going to notice that on this on the first row the borrow is 0, and that's because you don't have any property value increases yet on this property. And I'll talk more about property value increases in a different video. But when you do get property value increases, you'd simply move the marker down so that now your property value goes up, the rent that you can collect also increases, and on this particular property you can borrow $5,000 if you needed to. Alright, so that's it for the property cards. And I'll talk a little more about these also when we look at the favorites and the handyman specials. Alright, now let's take a look at the credit chips. Credit chips are, this is a way to buy a property. Everyone starts off with 10 credit chips, and they have to be the same color as the token piece that you're going to choose. And every time you buy one property, you have to give up one credit chip. And one slogan that we've used in the past, and that is to make the bull jingle. All that is, if every time you buy a property, you have to remember to give up a token. And so if the banker says make the bull jingle, we use a bowl normally where we can put not just the credit chips, but also any properties that go back to repo that the bank takes back. And then if the banker says make the bowl jingle, that just means don't forget to drop your credit chip inside the bowl. Alright, so this way you do give up that chip if you buy a property. Alright, and as I said before, the game token has to match the color of the credit chips that you have. Now, everyone starts off with one, and if you do get married in the game, and marriage is optional, and the one thing about marriage is that if you do decide to get married, everything doubles. Your income doubles and so on. And so you would just simply snap the two together, join them at the hand, and you would continue moving around the board, and that's how you indicate that you are married. And also, see if I can find the red hat here. If you retire in the game, and retirement, when your property value reaches $500,000 or more, then you tell the banker, look, I'm retired, and you take your little hat and you snap it on. Alright, you can wear it backwards if you wanted to show off, or even sideways for that matter. Alright, and that's how you show that you're retired. And I'll talk more again about retirement in a different video. Alright, and let's take a look at the money denominations. There are 13 altogether with the game, but we don't use all 13. We normally stop at the 100, and I'll give you some tips on that, on how to do that. So you have the $100,000 bills, the largest bills that we have. Not too many of those. And 50,000, 20,000, 10,000, 1,500, and the $100 bills. And as I said, we do have the game comes with the 20s, the 10s, the 5s, and the 1s. Now some people like to use the smaller bills just as a way of irritating people by giving them a lot of singles when they play. Alright, and finally, just to show you the buttons that come with the game. Now these will eventually disappear with the game, but just to start off, if you wanted to show people that you played the game or you're a money giant, you can go ahead and wear the first time you play the game. If you get $1 million or more, then you're a bronze giant. You wear the bronze button. $2 million or more, you wear the silver button. And as you can see, I am a gold giant, so I have the gold button, which is when you get up to 3 million plus in the game. Alright, I think that's pretty much it for the game pieces. I'll see you next time.